The quality of the environment, both natural and man-made, is essential to tourism. Whereas the environment is an important part of the tourism industry, its preservation and conservation can help the industry project a positive image. I have learned actually that both man-made and natural tourism is important in tourism industry. Why? Because those man-made and natural tourism can both attract tourists in the same way. Like for example, in natural tourist landmarks, we can say that Boracay and some beaches in Palawan can be a great example for that. Same goes with the man-made landmarks like the Banawe Rice Terraces, the Rizal Park, and even some old churches all around the Philippines. Many of these impacts are linked with the construction of infrastructures such as roads and airports and tourist facilities including resorts, hotels, restaurants, shops, golf courses, and weddings. Due to the improvement of our tourist industry this day, we are also improving our economy. So we can welcome a lot of tourists even after this pandemic. And luckily, our country is still one of the famous tourist destinations, not just in Asia but in whole world, of foreigners despite of closing our country because of the pandemic. The huge impact of tourism nowadays helps our tourist industry establish a lot of establishments where we can use in order to give our tourists a comfortable visit in our country and help them feel at home in the Philippines. Establishments that are built for tourists is such a helpful way to accommodate our tourists and make them feel at home in the Philippines. However, due to some overwork of this infrastructure, it has a huge effect on our environment, most especially with the wildlife. We are continue growing and developing our country's economy because of the tourists. So we have to provide a shelter, establishments for their accommodation. However, as we continue developing our environment and our country's economy, despite that, we have to destroy another ecosystem wherein we are going to establish the new infrastructure that will damage the animals and their habitats. In addition to that, mining oil and gas plants are examples of harmful infrastructures. In worst case scenario, these facilities pose a threat to human life and wildlife, as well as ecosystem. One of the negative effects of tourism is having a massive tourist, especially in an area with a small capability to hold tourists at the same time. Having a massive tourist can also be bad, not just because of a small environment where they eat, but because of the negative effects it can cause on the tourist landmarks, whether be man-made and natural, and also in some ecosystem where garbage can be found everywhere if the tourist breaks the protocols. As a tourism ambassador, if I were given the chance to make a law on how we'll be able to protect our natural environment, I would definitely make a law that would benefit both man-made and natural tourists, along with protecting our natural environment. And that law would be the limitation of tourists in an area. If we'll be able to hold an exact amount of tourists in an area, then we can prevent having some troubles when it comes on our natural environment, such as improper waste disposal and prevent disturbance of wildlife, which also helps the animals to have a privacy, just like what we humans need. We can also prevent destruction of man-made landmarks due to mass tourists. And we can observe the activity of our tourists. Everything should have a limitation, even our tourists, because too much can never be good, and exact can mitigate the mass tourists in an area. Thank you.